Hey everyone, Corrie here coming in to do the full moon message. And this full moon is in Virgo. It is March the 7th. And so happy birthday to my partner, whose birthday is today. But this full moon is definitely a bit of a game changer. And we do have a lot of energy with this, but I keep getting, and I hear a lot of people speaking of times are now changing, things are going to be so much better. And yeah, they are to a certain degree, but I just get like, that whole trying to squeeze you in your, like, when two things start rubbing together and there's this friction. So I'm like, there is some friction energy there as well. So I am picking up some friction energy and I'm feeling that friction. Um, and I feel like that is the sense of, having to squeeze past. So, it's like getting a all out, top score in something, or just squeezing by, just getting by. So I feel like we still have a lot of energy that is like, we're just getting by. Don't get up on our high horses. Don't climb up on any high horses. Don't go thinking, I got this, I've been there, I'm doing this, I got this all figured out. None of that right now. It's like, that's kind of what I'm getting. None of that right now. Don't think don't be too big for your bridges, because we also have, and I've been in a relationship with Chiron now. I am an Aries for a few years, and it was for a few years, I would say, I'm healing the healer, right? That was my journey, working on healing the healer. And right now, if you actually go to my page, go to my Facebook page, you can actually see a spot to sign up, or my Instagram. There is a link to be able to sign up for a life of ceremony, which I am a guest speaker, one of the guest speakers in this summit, and it is free to sign up. But with it, one of the bonuses that comes with it in mine will be in the school, you'll be able to get free access to my Healing the Healer course. That is a pre-recorded course, but it's available. And so by signing up there, you can get to that course, and you'll be able to take part in that. So if you're just on your journey, if you're just beginning, we all have an inner healer. We all have that aspect to be able, how they say, the body has the capability to heal itself. Well, so does the mind, and so does the spirit. And it's just like this sense of being able to set ourselves free by switching mindsets and our choices that we choose. And I've been gone back to one of my original decks, and I couldn't figure out why I was back to one of my original decks and I was walking through the door into my bedroom this morning, and I just heard, why do you no longer announce angel card readings? You're an angel card reader. You are an advanced angel card reader. You're an angelic life coach. I had worked in everything angels prior to, all the other stuff. Well, not prior to. First, I was a Reiki master teacher, was one of the things that I took on first in my healing. Before that, I was an esthetician and hairstylist for 30 years, owned a salon and spa, been in business since I was a little girl. But the original box and the original deck of these cards is what was calling me. And so I had to pull them out. I was in the first live class that we actually did with Radley and Doreen way back when. And I think it was through Hay House. And I did go to Angel University, which was Doreen's, and that's where I did my past life healing training and all of those things. But I had to really go back to this deck and go back to the deepness of the angels. And I've been speaking a lot in my channeled messages, the weeklies and the monthlies, about some of these. I always say like the ancient ones, and I don't know why I call them the ancient ones. They're these ancient ones of this angelic realm that just feels like, to me, it's like the seraphim angels, the Sephirim, they have, however you want to say them. I feel like that is kind of what they're like, but even bigger. I don't know, even some beyond them. And so also I have some loved ones that were coming in, and I was so distraught for weeks that I thought I had misplaced this beautiful heart that was gifted to me with wings on it from my dear friend and And I was sitting down doing my ceremony earlier, and I was in prayer, and all I heard was, look up, I'm right here. Look up, I'm right here. And this keychain that I thought I had, that I thought must have been misplaced, I was like, and it's been on the hands of my Buddha ever since. Ever since I was gifted this. And so, but I thought it was on another Buddha, and that's in my bedroom, and I couldn't, and I'm like so distraught. And then I looked, and there's the angel wings. And I just heard, we're here to kick ass. It's time to get back to kicking ass. It's time to get back to that kick-ass energy of who you are and what you are. And so, and I just heard, I wasn't lost. I was here, I was on the top shelf, and you put me up here to keep me safe. And so now here we are. Time to get back. It's time to get back on our top shelf, but don't get on any high horses. And so, sorry, I just want to put my phone into a sleep mode there. And so we're back to the angels. We're back to a place of just this divine essence. But we do have, like I said, so back to this Chiron, this healing the healer. And if you've ever listened to the story of Chiron, and I know several people are talking about this today. I've heard some astrologers speaking about it. But I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to go into the astrology part of this the way that they would, because I am not an astrologer. But because I have been channeling and working with Chiron for several years now, and Chiron comes to me and shows me these stories, and I've been living within my own pain. And so that was kind of how Chiron came to me. And I remember channeling and sketching out Chiron, and this massive message came. Well, today Chiron returned again. And I could see this sense of, all that we sacrifice in the name of doing the right things for the right reasons and to be present. And I just feel like there is something within ourselves that we have to really truly start to acknowledge, that we do have good qualities, or that we have done good things in our lives. What have we been doing right? What, no matter the mistakes we made, no matter the hard times, no matter where we've kind of messed up, if that's what you just keep putting your focus on, it is hard to heal, because you're trying to heal in the wound. You're trying to heal in your own, you're trying to heal in your own punishment, your own shame. And to get beyond that, and to not to band-aid it, but to provide to it exactly what it needs to heal. And that is to care for it. And it's time to really, truly start to care for these, this essence of ourselves that needs to be understood, needs to be cared for, and not to be judged, not to try to heal within the wound, not try to heal while shaming yourself, while being hard on yourself. And I wrote myself an intention tonight, and I placed it up on my fridge, and I know it's a full moon, and to release and let go. But I listen to spirit and not to the rules, because I don't live in the box. And the whole systematic of this is how things are supposed to be done, this is what we're supposed to do. Who created those rules? Who created those rules? Who made those rules, right? Who set those? Another person who wanted to have structure, who wanted to have, a set of rules, but here we are always trying to free ourselves of those. So as a spiritual guide and a teacher, it is truly about being able to trust your instincts on what feels right for you to do in these moments and these experiences, and listening to the guides, listening to the angels. And as I set that intention, I realized it was me letting go of my own story that has led me to lose something that was so important to me, that sense of this healthy body, even though, my spine is not healthy, but a whole aspect of myself. And I just kept asking myself, like, what are you really hungry for? Why are you in that wound? Why are you punishing yourself to try to get in a healthier state of being, where you need to be physically? And this is in the physical body. And so this physical body, I had to really, truly connect with it today. And to be gentle, So with this full moon energy, it's about trusting, what feels right for you. And then as we have the angels with us, if we have these beautiful angels and they're just glowing, my room has been so filled everywhere I go. There's been these beautiful angels with us. And I have angels that are down in my sketching books that come to me. And I never know, what their names are sometimes until weeks later. And they give me names of angels who are not your seven major angels, right? They're not your seven archangels. They're not the ones that we mainly hear people work with. They're names that are very authentic to them. And so and when they give me their names, I don't ever second guess them. And one of them is Brilliance. And her name is Brilliance. And Brilliance comes in this amazing light. And when I see her, and when she appears, and she has a very strong feminine energy, she just comes in with this like omniscience glow is the only, like, it's like a iridescent. It's like the color of my chicken. She's like the color of my chicken. And so she's got that kind of look, but she's got a pinky bluey kind of tinge to her as well. And when she just comes with that message of step into your brilliance and stepping into our brilliance. And so a big part of where we're going is about stepping into our brilliance. And so the angel card that first comes out is a card of water, and water represents emotions. And this is a card that says, missing an opportunity. And so sometimes when we get so caught up in our emotions, sometimes when we're so distracted, when you're in your wounds, when you're in your misery, or when you're in that struggle and you stay in the struggle, when you're existing in the past and you're not in the present, well, you can't be available for what's coming. And so this card is telling us that, that it's time to really, I just seen all four angels on all four corners. So all four angels on all four corners. And I just seen a water dragon come in as well. So it's opening up our eyes to what else is possible, opening up our eye. So when you open your third eye, when you allow yourself to be able to expand even your peripheral vision. So the more that you learn to see with your eyes wide open to see beyond what we see, see beyond, what's right in front of our nose. If we're only seeing to the end of our nose, we can't see we can't see what's coming. We can't see what's ahead. So in this sense of being able to see wider, broader, to be able to see with our third eye, to be able to see with our eyes open and our eyes closed, and to still be able to see the angels. Like I can still see the angels with my eyes open. I can still see the world beyond this world with my eyes wide open. And it's because I believe, and it's because I have that sense of faith, that childlike energy of just knowing. How do you know? I know because I can see. And because I can see, then I know that that is real. And so sometimes some of the things that you're seeing, even with your eyes wide open, we create a story of what we think is happening and what we feel is happening. And sometimes there's more to the story, or it's not the story that we start to create in our heads. But if we are so busy if we're so busy caught over here in the story we're telling ourselves, and it's all tied to this emotions and this past, then we may be missing the opportunity to see what else is there, to take the deep dive, to look deeper, to look beyond, because beyond is where our treasures are. Beyond is where this creating heaven on earth is. Beyond is where all of the good things are. And so this beautiful angel energy is just, and this has come with the mermaids as well. And so this is the mermaids. And this morning I woke up like obsessed, like binge watching mermaids. After I did my meditation, I was binge watching like women who are, who put on their mermaid tails and they do all these swimming, all these underwater pictures and photos, and it's absolutely incredible. So the mermaid energy is very large with us. But that mermaid energy is also tying into the goddess of the mermaid, who's about to do who's about to shift in planets, I think. So there is this goddess who is a mermaid, and she was hanging on to the ship. She didn't want to be left behind. And whoever, I don't know, I can't remember the whole story, but how her fingers, I think her fingers were chopped off so that she would let go of the boat, so that she would let go of the boat and she would have to swim alone, like she'd have to swim, and she was being like what she thought was left behind. And sometimes if she only focused on the fingers being gone or that experience, she wouldn't be able to use her magical tail and to be able to see what else was there, to see what else was available, see what else was there for her to discover. And so there is this sense of attachment and detachment energy that is coming in. So we have this energy that is about attachment and detaching. And I'm trying to think of this mermaid story because I just heard it again from who was the astrologer who was just talking about her, Nadia. I can't remember her last name. I think her name was Nadia. And then it just brought back that memory of that goddess energy. And I'm like, oh, I so forgot about the goddess and her mermaid energy. And I work with the goddesses. So we have a lot of the mermaid because we have a lot of water energy. And so a lot of what we need to do is to take deep dives to really get deeper. And so this just squeaking by, if we're just going to continue to just only do what needs to be done to get by in life, we're going to be just existing, right? So it's like, if we're just going to move into the next energy, the next shift, and we're just going to just keep doing that same, like just existing that way, or just doing what needs to be done on that level of mediocre, like I'll do the bare minimal. And if I do the bare minimal, the job will get done, things get done. Our whole world has become doing the bare minimal. We're just getting by the bare minimal. The bare minimal is not going to be enough in the future. It is not going to work. It is not going to be how we succeed. It's not going to be of service to us. And there is more for us to discover. And we have to dive deep. There is treasures for us to discover and for us to be able to find as a human being, as a human race. And so we do have a lot of that coming in as well. We have the Seven of Water also coming in. And this is about a complex decision. And it is the need to do research, stop procrastinating. Now, I feel like this was upside down. It was in reverse, but I wasn't reading these in reverse. But I do feel like for some, you've already been making those complex decisions. But for others, I feel like there is some big decisions. And this energy that we have happening now is truly about, broken relationships. It is about what is broken. Stop trying to save what is dead. Stop trying to fix what is broken. Sometimes you just got to put it in a junkyard. Sometimes you got to let it go. Right. So I feel like it's like some things are not meant to be fixed. Some things are not meant to be in your life. Some things are meant to be released. And so there is decisions, right? And if we make no decision, we just keep existing. You're just going to do the bare minimums to get by. Relationships cannot be built on bare minimums moving forward. They have to be all in, right? If you're in a relationship, you have to go all in. It's about commitment. It's about loyalty. It is about that sense of being dedicated. It's about making commitments. Well, that relationship is also the relationship with you. And that's coming up all over the place. And the angels, the angelic realm just keeps bringing us to this. And when we get distracted, you're going to be dragged off into that sense of darkness again. And it is time for us to bring more light in, to allow space and room for more light. When Chiron, just said, I just can't do this no more. I need to go. Like, I just can't do this. And in the end, he was brought back, even though he had to go to that sense of his darker place. Then he was brought back and returned, and he had seeked everywhere, because what was realized was that while he was seeking to heal himself and do the healing work on himself, what Chiron was doing, he was sharing the medicine he was finding. And what wasn't working for him was working for other people. So while he was so focused on trying to find this, he was also doing all of this work to help others, but he wasn't focused on so much of helping others. He was focused on, how do I get well again? How do I get back to being me again? How do I get back? And in that discovery, he, what was seen was that he wasn't selfish. He was actually doing a lot of work. So everything he was seeking for himself, he was also sharing that information, sharing that wisdom, sharing that knowledge. And that's absolutely a must. And I always say that as a teacher, when I was teaching hairstyling, when I was teaching, as I teach this work, is people say, or when I was teaching Reiki, it's like, well, don't you ever feel like you're going to like give out all of your stuff? And I'm like, no. And don't you feel like you're just making competition for yourself? And I'm like, no, I don't. Because if this is wisdom that I can give to another and it can help another in a way, if I can help another to live a beautiful life, imagine if there is way more of us living a beautiful life than there is of us living an unhealthy life. And so that was what brought him back to being the light, to being the light worker, to being that divine guide. He was returned into heaven. He was allowed to create that heaven and walk his life and live that sense of being that being who just does for the right reason and doesn't even think about it. Even in his pain, he still kept doing the right things for the right reasons. He still kept being available to be of service, allowing the light to work through us. That is our big key moving forward, is to allow the divine to work through us and for us. That is massive. Allowing the divine, God, creator, source, angels, whatever, sun, moon, stars, I don't care what you call it, allowing it to work through you, for you, allowing yourself to be the vessel while also still remembering the physical human self is also of importance, caring for it, keep seeking what is needed for it, but also to do it from a place of knowing there's a solution, right? Like seeking solutions instead of just staying in the problem, instead of just laying there and being complaining and doing nothing. Don't let ourselves get in there. It is about keep moving forward, keep that sense of momentum going, but also to be available, right? To be available, to be of service. And so then we're moving into fire, and we have the King of Fire and we have a Two of Fire coming in. And so this is where the dragons came in. And I said, a few minutes ago, I said, oh, I see the dragons coming in. So we've had the mermaids, we have the dragons, we have so much magical energy. And so these are the existence of like the world inside the world, right? And so there's a world inside of the world. And it's like, if you see us like the jawbreaker, right? It's like we have all these layers. If you see the earth, you see there's a middle core, there's a middle world where magic exists. And that magical world is not going to let in anyone who's coming in to stomp on the mushrooms. That's not, coming in to destroy, coming in to take anything that is not yours. And so this dragon energy, this fire energy, and so this fire doesn't burn. People burn other people, people's egos, people's jealousies, insecurities. But what we're being told is that this dragon energy is not here to, it can't burn you, but it's here to dissolve. It's here for you to throw into the flames, the things that that needs to be dissolved in your life. So something new can resurrect, something new can rise from the fire, something like giving birth, like there is a new seed for you to be able to plant, and this new seed is being handed to you. And so this is motivation. And this is about being ambitious, charismatic, and because it's the King of Fire. And so the King of Fire is the King of Wands, right? And it's this, very ambitious desires. What do you personally desire? What is it you're seeking? And just finding that again, like being very shoulders back, walking with this sense of healthy pride, confidence, and knowing, getting back up on the top shelf, knowing that we're worthy of that journey to no one else can put a value upon us or tell us who we are in our value and our worth. That's something we do. And so this is about being able to communicate with the vision and to be able to be that true leader. We have to be the leader of our lives, but we're also in a time of where we are awakening many leader energy, right? Like there's a whole, like this light worker energy and just awakening the, light workers. But if you if you allow yourself to get caught in that story of I can't do this, times are too tough, and we start backing away, it's not time for us to back away. It's time for us to move forward. It's time for us to get going. It's time for us to be going forward. And so communication with vision and be a leader. And so, having a vision in mind, having a sense of a destiny, a desire. What about your dreams? What about your dreams, right? What was it you dreamt of? And then it's like, oh, well, that's too late. It's gone now. What if it's not gone? What if sometimes that things don't work out as we think they should, right? What if sometimes, and so there is some research that needs to be done sometimes, like so that we're not just repeating, and we're not creating and living in our dreams out of the ego's desire to do something to, because you're just going to prove to people. You have nothing to prove, but you have everything to give to yourself. And there's like the sense of giving to ourselves, but also giving to others, and to be that available energy. And so then we have the two of fire. So we have two fire cards and we have two water cards. And so this one is bringing us into coming into our own and new partnerships, contracts, continuing to move forward, which is exactly what and I'm reading the bottom of the card. And so it's exactly what we've been saying. And, it's like, it is this coming into partnership with the divine. It is time to really, truly come into partnership with the divine energy, with that of a higher power, with that of a knowing. It's time for us to strengthen those virtues. And, I feel like that seed and planting that seed of, to co-create. What can I to co-create with, to set intentions and to be available, but also to know that most of the things that we do in this life, we do in a way of co-creation. And for us to be able to co-create with spirit, to work with spirit, to, even your best dreams may not be quite enough. It's like, what if what is possible for you, you can't even imagine, right? And so imagine if your everything in your dreams that you've ever dreamt of became available. What if you could do this? And this is Archangel Sandaloff, and it's 5, it's unity. It's that unity consciousness, it's the come together. But what are we in union with? What and who are we in union with? And there's a lot of artificial light. And so there's a lot of imitation light. And that imitation light is often sometimes when we don't realize that, we may not be as available as what we think we are sometimes. But because we're being, there is, and this was I channeled a message in my monthly, I think it was, or in my weekly of the videos before this one. And I said, there's beings out there that are working for their highest good and not yours. And so when they're channeling through and they're coming through and they're getting, giving you these messages, is it for our highest good or is it for the highest good of the beings? So it is not divine energy. It is not the divine. And I kept saying the divine is intercepting some of this energy. So there's an intervention that is happening by the angels, by the council, by the guide. And I feel like we're having to sit with the council. And I feel like we have to sit around the council and we have to listen like we're getting scolded by the divine of listen here. And so, because there is so many viewpoints to be discovered, and, there is this, the angelic magic and the angelic energy that has ways that it works. And the ways that it works, the only way for us to get that is not always from somebody's opinion or somebody else's way of doing it, is how they want us to do it. Because you are the key. You are the key to you are the key, you are the piece that is needed to awaken the magic within you. And if it's not really you, if you are an imposter to yourself, you're not available. And so as we start to be able to move into, spiritual organization, spiritual union, coming together, is that we start to notice and we start to bring awareness to that which is in competition and competing competition and trying to dish each other out there. And it's like, and it's just like, just feel like it's like an awakening, an awareness of all working for the highest good and for love and light in this world. And so union is, this is transformation. So the key to your transformation, the key to your future, the key to your life is truly about your key that goes in, that awakens that that opens the box to your magic, to the recipe, to the pieces that are working for you. And so there is a lot of viewpoints that are on a human level, but once you go silent and you go into deeper sense of knowing, is that there is a, it's the way, right? And so there is so many ways that are being coming through for us right now moving forward. Last two cards to go with this. So as we're moving, last three cards. Interesting. No. Oh, four cards. Okay. I just heard go with four. So four corners. I got the four corners. We got another major life event, but with it comes, leaving behind the mob. Sometimes that unity is not in being stuck in a one track mind or a one view and a one perspective, and leaving behind some of that human clan and moving into the magic, like leaving behind some of the old. And I feel like things are starting to really, truly move and shift and look up, especially as the month goes on, as we move past this next few weeks. We got a few months, we got a few weeks of this kind of wishy-washy energy, and then we're going to be moving beyond that. And it feels like for some of you, you're going to be taking like a long trip. You may be actually fully moving, leaving behind, but I feel like it's like the difficult situation is coming to an end. But it's like you want to be sure that we're not just squeaking by. We're not doing bare minimal. Bare minimal is not going to be enough at all, whether it's in your relationships. And I feel like we're up in the standards and the ante on what we deserve, no matter where it is. And so great sadness and, and time to heal. And so sometimes in having to up the ante and not to accept bare minimal means that we're going to have to deal with a little bit of sadness. And, in having to leave behind, to walk a path, a journey. So for some, it is a full walk, and this is air. So this is the mental body, and having to really truly make decisions and choices, and nobody can make your choices and decisions but you. And then it brings us into another air. So this is all the sense of being in this air of, and this brings us into unicorn energy. So we have the magic of the unicorn here, and I love the unicorn energy and working with the unicorn energy. And the unicorn, when you get touched by the unicorn, it just brings in this sense of light body, like it just lets you feel the light and the love. And unicorn magic is just so incredible, and it helps us in healing and being able to heal that which we're unable to heal ourselves. So it's like sometimes you just got to stop trying to do it on your own. You got to let it work through you, for you, through you, for you. That's the key. And so with that shifts and not accepting bare minimal, we're often having to look at areas where you would have accepted situations the way they were. You would have just like previously said, oh, I can just let that go. And I don't feel like you can just let things go moving forward. And so, this is the sense of being able to, so this is the page of air, and I'm looking at her picture because I'm seeing the wolf here, and the wolf in her eyes, and then the lion over here, and that protection that's around. So it's like, this can be an impulsive energy. That page of air can be juvenile. It can be very youthful. It can be very young. Courageous, can be very courageous, right? But you know how children are just so brutally honest? Children just say without, it's like my granddaughter might say to me, Nana, why are you wearing that? Don't wear that, Nana. I don't like that. And it's not to hurt your feelings. It's just that that's her thoughts, and that's exactly it. And so sometimes we need to be able to hear the truth, and we have to be able to communicate the truth, and not to be afraid to communicate the truth, not to be so concerned about something ending or somebody being angry, but the importance of truth. And we can do truth with love and respect. And so this is being able to do it with love and respect, but also to be that honest. And some, you know, being able to be responsible, that we are, you know, we can be we are still youthful. We're still the babies of all the beings. So we are still we're still evolving. We're still growing. We got a long way to go. They're looking down at us like, look at them little youth down there running around. So we have a youthfulness, and that's why we have the divine that's still guarding us, that's still taking care of us, still trying to be there. And I feel like this wolf is guiding you into a new pack, you know, a new, you know, a new sense of being. And so you're seeing that come together of energy. So some of you are going to be moving into healthier relationships, going to be moving into a sense of healthier relationship for self. And, you know, some of you may finally be getting that ring. Finally getting that ring, finally getting that sense of love in your lives. And so this is renewal, and that's what this is all about. All that we're doing right now is for that sense of renewal, so that we can allow things to be washed away, so that we can dive down deep and you know, restore those pieces of this system that works for us, that we have everything we need is built within us, even our compass, which knows the direction for us to be able to go. And so as we move forward, I just feel like it's like there is this new direction, and it's major life changes, major life events. And I just feel like there is so many, I feel like we're seeing a lot of weddings this coming year, like above normal amounts, but you're also seeing a lot of people just like really upping the ante, but not losing our rights or our voice. I feel like we're really taking a stand for that, because that would bring us into that bare minimal. Then we'll all be living bare minimal, and that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And I feel like it's a time when we're actually getting our voices back, and not from, and healing that the mental body, like the mental body energy. There's a massive healing that's happening for the mental body and the heart. And I feel like you know, existing more from living in our hearts as we're moving forward. So what do you need to release today? Or, you know, what do you need to release? And what are you going to do with this seed? So here you go. Here's your seed. Here's your seed. Take this seed. The seed, I don't know what's inside of this seed. All I know, it's a seed. And I'm giving you the seed. Here's your seed. Take this seed, plant it. Now see it come into your hands. Feel it in your hands. And plant this seed. Plant this seed and just watch it grow. Put it in the light and water it and take care of it and speak to it and communicate to it and care for it, and still just keep showing up in the world and keep going, so that you can see something grow, like Jack and the Beanstalk, right? Like see something just grow, and see it grow tall, and see it flourish, and see it blossom, and whatever it may be. But you have to see it all the way through, and you have to stay with it all the way until the end. You have to stay with you, right? You are the greatest, you're the most, you know, you're the relationship that you have to really truly make work moving forward. So here's your seed. What are you going to do with it? I wish you much love, and I hope this moon energy is, you know, is that you're bathing in this moon energy. You're allowing it to flow, allowing the light to flow through you. Angels on all four corners. We're calling in the angels to be on all four corners of your home, of your rooms, to be up above, down below, to the right, to the left, front and back, for Archangel Michael to be present, for there to be a strong sense of underneath, up above, a sense of a light that opens up and just puts this light of protection around over you, but still make you to be able to be seen, to be felt, to be loved. This is not so thick that it cannot be penetrated by the light and by the good things for us. It is that which is pushing out that negative energy, that darkness, and keeping that away, and, you know, and so that we can allow ourselves to truly, you know, be in a sense of a divine solution. When we can't see a way, there is a divine way, and there is always a divine solution. And I feel like there's miracles. We're going to be seeing miracles. There's a lot of miracle energy happening right now as well. And so seeing this wrapped around us, you know, and being there for us is everything right now. And I just feel like the connection to our loved ones, just so powerful. Just here telling us to kick ass here on earth. We're here to kick ass. We're here to rise. We're here to shine. We're here to be available. So we do it better when we do it together. So much love. Have a beautiful full moon, and I will see you in the coming days. Bye-bye.